This is an introductory video to Chapter 3, Managing the Desktop. We'll be looking at understanding desktop features, working with gadgets, changing display settings, creating shortcuts, configuring the Aero interface. Here we're exploring the desktop, and we can see the areas that include the Start menu. We can see the taskbar in the bottom there and the notification on the far right. We can see the gadgets in the right side of the screen. In the center we have an application open. We have the recycle bin, and we have the icons and shortcuts. So a shortcut you can see the little arrow on. You can access the Start menu settings by right-clicking on the Start button and selecting Properties. And that'll open up this dialog box. From there you can customize your Start menus, you can change your power button actions, and you can set privacy settings for your Start menu. If you click on the Customize button, that will open up a new dialog box which will allow you to customize. You can customize links, icons, and menus. When you click the Customize button, this menu will come open, and using this dialog box you can specify the icons as well as the number of recent programs you want to display on the Start menu, as well as setting jump list. The next item on the Start menu is the Power button action configuration, which is a drop-down. Here you can change the combination of things that are available on your Start or Shutdown button. So here we can see the Shutdown button has all 5 options selected on it. By clicking on the Taskbar tab, you can change your taskbar appearances, you can change your taskbar location, and you can also customize your notification area and set up the ability to preview the desktop with the Aero Peek. One of the options you can select is to use the small icons. The use of small icons conserves space on the taskbar and also reduces the space it requires on the desktop. The taskbar drop-down allows you to change how the taskbar appears. The default setting is to always combine icons and hide the text labels that describe the application or folder. It is called Always Combine, Hide Labels in the drop-down combo box. 2 alternative settings are called Combined when taskbar is full and Never Combine. To access the notification area settings, you must first access the taskbar tab of the taskbar and Start menu settings dialog. On this tab, you can click the Customize button in the notification area section of the tab. Here you can determine how you will be notified by various system icons and whether all icons and notifications should be shown. Group Policy is a solution that allows you to configure, restrict, and enable OS settings, applications, and functionality in Windows clients and servers. The best part about Group Policy is that it can be centralized. You can configure Group Policy objects, known as GPOs, on the network that will be downloaded and applied to the computers that participate on the network. To use centralized GPOs, you must have an Active Directory domain. Now that we've explored the Windows desktop and the configuration interfaces provided for the taskbar and Start menu, we're ready to learn about where these settings are actually stored, which are stored in the user profile. The user profile contains the desktop, Start menu, and document folders that are unique to a user. Windows 7 includes 3 specific profile types on a local machine: the public profile, the default profile, and user profiles. In Windows 7, the user profiles are stored in the users folder on the root of the system drive, which is typically the C drive. Within the users folder will be a single folder for each user profile, named after the user, and 2 additional folders, one for the public profile and one for the default profile. Windows 7 comes with these gadgets, and you can add these gadgets to your desktop by right-clicking in an open area on your desktop and select Gadgets, and you'll have this list of gadgets available. You'll simply select one or drag and drop it to the desktop. Most gadgets offer some configurable parameters. You can access the configuration settings in one of 2 ways. You can right-click on the gadget and select Options. The second way is to access the configuration parameters is to move the mouse cursor over the gadget and click the Options button, which looks like a wrench. The ability to change display settings is important for the users of any operating system. For those desiring more screen space, a higher resolution is needed. For those desiring larger icons or fonts, then you want to select a lower resolution or set screen magnification on. Windows 7 supports using multiple displays concurrently. You can configure multiple display settings easily by pressing the Windows P key, which brings up the Presentation Settings dialog box. You can use this to configure the output to various displays. The Start menu has been around since Windows 95, and you can modify it. If you want to add a folder to it, you'd have to go to the Start menu Programs folder on the hard drive, which is located on the C:\program data /Microsoft /Windows /Start menu. The Aero interface introduces several useful features for Windows management in Windows 7. I'd like you to discuss these features with your group and report them back in your discussion summary for this introductory video. Several settings impact the functionality of the Windows Aero interface. You can enable or disable dozens of features related to the performance and the Windows desktop using the Performance Options dialog box shown here. You can enable and disable transparency. You can also control many other Aero visual effects that impact performance. Here's a summary of what we are going to be looking at in Chapter 3.